Hello everyone and welcome to Nick Barlow Radiology, and in this video we'll be discussing the Leading the Way in Radiography Advanced Practice conference. The conference ran from the 5th to the 7th of September in Bradford this year and was chaired by Mr. James Harcus, Associate Professor in Diagnostic Radiography at the University of Bradford. And I'm delighted to have him with me today just to explain the concept behind the conference and why we should all get involved. Hiya James, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Nick. Nick, thanks for having me.
No problem. No, thank you for coming on. And yeah, I think we'll start with the concept of LTRAP and where it began. Where did whose idea was it to organise this conference?
Well, I can't claim credit for this one, I'm afraid. It actually started back in about 2015 on Twitter, as it was back then. They're a group of like-minded radiography academics and professionals started a conversation on social media about starting to think about building a community of advanced practitioners in radiography from across the globe. So this kind of informal chat online grew into something that ultimately became the first conference that we had in 2016. And as I say, really the concept was about getting the global community of advanced practitioners in radiography across all disciplines, including diagnostic, radiation therapy, ultrasound, and so on, in the same place at the same time, to be able to share ideas, to be able to share best practice, and ultimately then be able to inspire the next generation of advanced practitioners.
Brilliant. So where's the conference been hosted previously?
So we held the first one back in 2016. So me and a colleague at Sheffield Hallam University, we co-organised the first one back in 2016 after taking over from another couple of colleagues who left the university. So we held the first one in Sheffield in the UK. It then moved from there in 2018 to Toronto in Canada. Normally we try to hold the conference every 2 years, but because of COVID, we did delay initially, and the next one was then held in 2021. But because of the COVID restrictions that carried on back then, we held it virtually in Melbourne, and then it moved in 2023 to Singapore, and has come kind of full circle, full globe, back to the UK this year, where we were glad to host it in Bradford.
Excellent. Yes, and I was fortunate enough to attend the conference this year, and the conference runs for around 2 days, doesn't it? I think there was registration on the Friday evening, and then it ran into full day Saturday, and then half a day on Sunday. Who who can attend the conference, James? Because obviously it's advanced practice, but there's lots of different areas that this encompasses. Would you encourage? Is it just for people who are established in advanced practice? Is it for people who are aspiring to have careers in advanced practice? Who is allowed to attend?
Well, it's open to anybody, really. Yes, the focus is around advanced practice in radiography and radiation therapy, and all the disciplines associated with the profession across the globe. But as you've kind of already sort of highlighted, we don't just want to have people there who are established in their fields. And whilst we do have some of the world leaders in advanced practice attending the conference and presenting, we really want to be able to inspire the next generation and people who are really only just starting out in their advanced practice journey. We, as part of the conference in Bradford, we encourage some of our current undergraduate students to come and help out and help facilitate the conference, to give them an idea of what the advanced practice community is around the world. But we had people who were, practitioners relatively new into the role, really excited about where their career can take them. We had people kind of already going through that journey who were perhaps already working in enhanced practice roles or advanced practice roles. We have people working in consultant positions and also academia. And as I've said, we've also had, some of the leading lights in advanced practice and radiography attend as well. Very heavily supported by a number of professional bodies. So the Society and College of Radiographers, CAMR, RT in Canada, ASMA in Australia, and the Singapore Society of Radiographers. And really, the idea was just about to get a group of people who were really, really interested and passionate about advanced practice in radiography in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, and I have to say, I thought the conference was outstanding. And what I loved is the different elements to the conference. So there were poster presentations from research. There was people presenting the research. There was people providing updates from the different countries around advanced practice and the current climate and how things were shaping up. And we were able to compare between each country the different developments and share information. And I thought that was really, really valuable. We have a lot of listeners on this channel who are students. There's a lot of practitioners across the globe, and it really is a conference that everybody can get involved in and get something out of. So is there any particular, if I was to put you on the spot and say, why should I attend? Why should I come to Bradford, say, for this year and for 2 days on a weekend and attend this conference?
I think that the thing that really shone for me this year, not only just this year, but in the conference in general, is just the passion that exudes from the people who attend and the people who present. And, ultimately anybody has aspirations or intentions to progress their career across the radiography disciplines. Really, what you're gonna find is by coming to the conference is that you're gonna be inspired, you're gonna be learning from people who are doing it in the real world, people who've been through the challenges that perhaps people face when progressing their career and moving their career, and really just feel excited about where our profession can take us. And that, yes, we come across boundaries, and we all do. That our closing keynote we had was about career development and career progression, and thinking about our careers as being more like a river than a ladder. And when we are going through our careers, we do come across boundaries, we do come across barriers, blocks in the path of where we're going. And I think the fact that we could hear from people about how they've got from where they were to where they are, how they've dealt with challenges, but they come through with this kind of enthusiasm, excitement, and that willingness to share their experiences with other people, and for us to be able to compare ourselves to what is happening in other parts of the world. Some places are, perhaps further forward in one discipline than another, but we can actually share that practice and help support each other in a really, really tight knit, and again, I use that term passion, that passionate community.
Yeah, and from a service point of view, it's absolutely excellent, and from a networking perspective, but also selfishly from a CPD perspective as well. You're helping your future development. You're networking with people, maybe discussing future research projects you can work on together that you wouldn't otherwise have had. You get to learn about other people's projects and take those back into your department. So from a CPD opportunity, there's lots of opportunities there just from those 2 days.
Yeah.
In terms of networking as well, James, one of the things that stood out to me going to the conference were the networking opportunities. Are you all right just to run over the opportunities there? Because it's not just a conference, but you also put on a social event as well, didn't you?
Yeah, the feedback we got from previous conferences is that actually, because it doesn't meet for 2 years at a time, and a lot of the people who do attend every 2 years, they do want a chance to actually just catch up with people and share stories and find out what's been going on in an informal environment rather than just sitting in an auditorium. So we were very keen to give people a lot of opportunity to network across the weekends. So the Friday nights, we did run a couple of workshops and a couple of other sort of extracurricular events on the Friday afternoon, but the Friday evening really kicked off with a welcome, a bit of an overview of where LTRAP has come from, but it was ultimately about people having a chance to have a couple of hours together, just chatting and networking and sharing their experiences. So we thought that was a really, really good way to open the conference. Don't get me wrong, I think the Saturday and the Sunday morning until we finished at sort of just after lunch were really quite full on. There was an awful lot packed in the program, but we made it really, really important that we also had the opportunity on the Saturday night for people to be able to let their hair down and relax. So we had a Saturday night social event, which, as I say, was a very relaxed event, and again just gave those people an opportunity to catch up with people they've maybe not seen for 2, 4, 6, 8 years. I met up with an ex-colleague who was at the original one back in Sheffield in 2016 and moved over to Australia. I've not seen him in face to face for 9 years, but we've been working in a number of research projects together in that time, albeit online. It was a fantastic opportunity for me to catch up with him, for example, but also, to meet new people who'd not been to this conference before. We had over 120 delegates in total across the weekend from 10 different countries, and countries who had not actually attended this conference before. I spent a couple of hours on the Saturday night just talking to a couple of gentlemen who come from France who had not attended the conference before, and we had a great chat, albeit me trying to put on my franglais, my poor attempt at French to communicate about potential options for them and what they can learn from being at the conference. So yeah, whilst the conference itself, it was very full and there was a lot going on, we wanted to give people that opportunity to have some downtime as well and just have those informal chats. And I think one of the other things that we were also keen to put on in the conference, it wasn't just about people stood at the front of an auditorium presenting to other people. So we put on a number of workshops across the weekend as well, based loosely around the 4 pillars of practice. So we had, on the Friday afternoon, we had a leadership workshop. We also had a workshop on the Saturday around the clinical pillar, and then on the Sunday, a research pillar workshop. So we tried to make that a lot more interactive, give people the opportunity, as you mentioned CPD, how they can incorporate aspects of the 4 pillars of practice into their day-to-day role, and perhaps demystify and break down maybe some of the complexities that people feel about the 4 pillars of practice. So yeah, certainly the ethos of the weekend is about giving people lots and lots of different opportunity that they might not necessarily get at other types of conference.
Yeah, I love that, and I love the interactive nature of the conference. And one of the other elements that you had on the Sunday was the elephant in the room discussion and about a controversial topic. But it also, it not only did it allow for debate, but members of the audience could chip in with their thoughts as well. And it just makes it that little bit more interactive rather than just sitting listening to someone talk for an hour. It was much more engaging. So that was brilliant. How much does it cost, James, to attend the event?
So the event, we deliberately tried to minimize the costs as far as we possibly could to try and maximize people's opportunity, bearing in mind that a lot of people did come from literally the other side of the world. So we had people from Australia and New Zealand and Canada and US and Kuwait and the UAE and Singapore. So we were mindful that people were already spending quite a lot of money to come. So we were very, very grateful to have a number of sponsors who were able to sponsor us, and that meant we could, keep costs down. And the flat rate for the weekend was £120 for the Saturday, the Sunday, and the Friday evening. So yeah, we tried to make sure that it was accessible as far as possible.
Yeah, brilliant. It's it's very, very, when you compare it with other conferences, it's very, very competitive, very, very well priced when you're comparing it to the larger ones. They can be for a lot of money. So I personally, I definitely felt that it was value for money for what we gained in return. When's the next conference plan then, James? You said that you're hoping that these are going to be every 2 years. Is there any idea as to where the next conference is going to be? Or are we still in the early planning stages? I'm conscious that that it's only just finished. So
We've already started those conversations. We had those conversations, or some of those conversations, at the conference. So our intention is that we carry on with the biennial approach. So we're hoping it will be back in 2027. We also hope that it carries it's on with its trajectory, that there's certainly not like to the intention that we would want to hold it in the UK, that we want it to keep moving and keep as a global conference to give other people an opportunity to experience what we did, which we've had in the UK twice now. So it will keep moving. No firm decisions yet. We're still having those chats and having those discussions, but we're hoping that we're going to be able to sort of at least be able to announce where we're hopeful it's going to be in the next few weeks or so, because these conferences, and I'm not going to lie, they are quite challenging to organize, and anybody who's thinking about organizing a conference, don't take it lightly. It's been a stressful 18 months since we agreed that we were going to host it in Bradford, and I've certainly got a few grey hairs, particularly in my beard, that have come out as a result of it. So, there's a lot of work and effort that goes into these conferences, both in terms of the LTRAP committee, who are made up of a number of like-minded professionals from across the globe, a number of whom have been involved right from the very beginning, but also the University of Bradford staff as well, who, very much helped me with the day-to-day organisation and running of the programme. And without their support, and also the sponsorship we had in the professional bodies, it just could not have happened. So yes, we're 2 years away, but we're already thinking where we go next and how we make it bigger and better.
It's a massive task, isn't it? And certainly we appreciate the efforts that the whole committee put in, and the University of Bradford, and of course yourself. It's certainly no easy task chairing a conference of that scale. So yeah, thank you for hosting it, and it was brilliant. And I would encourage everybody to get involved who has an interest in advanced practice, or even if you're just curious to learn what other countries are doing and how radiography is evolving in other countries. The LTRAP does have a website, doesn't it? And if you put LTRAP into the search engine, it comes up at the top. You can have a look for further details, and I'm assuming you could register interest, and then when more news does come out as to where the conference is going to be, I know you're quite active on social media promoting it as well, James, on LinkedIn, etc. So there's going to be lots of information out there about the upcoming conference. So yeah, I would certainly encourage anybody to get involved with this. Just out of interest, James, so if I was a radiographer practitioner and wanted to present a piece of research, is it open to anybody to present, or is it just for the for select few?
No, 100%. We try, when we're setting up this conference, to have representation from a number of international countries, and so each of the professional bodies who supports us, we give them an opportunity to nominate a keynote speaker who historically was always kind of presented what's happening locally, to give us that global perspective. So whilst we do have a number of keynote speakers, I think actually what really makes the conference more special is that the bulk of it is people who are presenting their own work and what they're doing. So we had, from memory, I think we had about 65 abstracts originally submitted, both for oral and poster presentations, from people who were, really starting out at the very, very beginning of their career, right through to people who were, who've been doing advanced practice or extended practice for a long, long time. We had people presenting results of research they'd done. We had examples of people presenting what their role entails on a day-to-day basis. We had people presenting other activities they've been involved in, such as special interest groups. So really, if you've got something that you're doing, you're thinking about doing, loosely related to enhanced advanced practice, don't feel that you cannot put yourself forward, put in an abstract. And I don't think this just applies to LTRAP. I think one of the key things for me in our profession is that we often don't shout about what we're doing enough, and people are potentially a little bit put off or unaware about how they actually put in to go for a conference and put in an abstract. But really, there's loads and loads of opportunities out there, and people always want to hear what other people are doing. You might feel it's quite mundane, normal, not exciting, but I can guarantee that someone else will. So don't, if you see these opportunities for conferences and you feel like you've got something that you want to shout about or people might want to hear about, don't hold back, just go for it.
Absolutely. And as well as been able to showcase that to other people. It's also good for your own development in terms of your presentation skills. So it's a really good experience presenting at a conference. It's one of those things that seems very daunting until you've done it once, and then you realize actually no, it's not too bad at all. It's a really good opportunity. So I would encourage anybody listening to this to get involved and submit an abstract, not just to LTRAP, but to any conference that you think is appropriate, and give it a go. James, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you about the conference, and yeah, I would encourage anyone with an interest in advanced practice to get involved with this, and keep an eye out on social media for any upcoming developments as to the next LTRAP. So, James, thank you very much. Thanks for listening, guys. If you like the video, give us a like, subscribe, and share with your colleagues, and we'll be doing some more videos soon. Bye for now.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.